these people are batshit crazy. I've come to realize that these people are weird and they are crazy, and I really wasn't that excited about this episode. As you can see, we are in another space in my home. This will definitely not be our permanent space because I'm in front of the patio door in my bedroom. But we got to make things work how we can. When I find a new home for us, you'll be the first to know. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, season number 10, episode number 8. Home is where your spouse is. Listen, don't be surprised if I take these lashes and this wig off mid-review because it's late. I worked out, I'm tired, but I wanted to make sure I had this up for you. If it's your first time visiting and watching one of my reviews, I like to go couple by couple. I mean, whatever they did, that's what we're going to talk about per couple. So let's just start off with Jessica and Austin. Listen, they seem to have the least going on and have the most compatibility and are making the most effort or most progress to me. And if you don't agree with me, then you're nuts. But let me know down below in the comments. So when the episode opens up, you see him cleaning in the living room. So I'm like, okay, he's using the vacuum, he cleans. Not only that, he cooks. She is a nurse, as we know, a registered nurse. Over, I think, all of the nurses in a certain particular program, if I remember correctly. But she works long days like nurses do. And because of that, she comes home a lot later than him. And he cooked, honey. When I tell you he cooked, they said spaghetti, quinoa, and mixed vegetables. But child, that was meatballs. Because I thought spaghetti was the noodles. Nevertheless, it was kind. He had the table set. He had her glass for wine. I thought that was kind. And you know what? She was a little taken aback by it because it's not something that she is used to. It's not the norm for her. And so, but hey, this is what I wanted. This is, in the right direction. I mean, honestly, how many of us as women would like to come home and see that our husbands have cooked for us? Okay, not that I'm married, but I'm just saying, when I was married, it was one of the things that I did enjoy, not having to come home and worry about what to feed my family because my husband had already taken care of it. One of my favorite things. And he cooked all the time. And so, dear future husband, I hope you can cook because he spoiled the shit out of me. Only reason I'm cooking now is because there's 3 of us in the household, and so it gets a little expensive to constantly buy food for 3 people, right? Okay, let me keep going. Listen, the only other thing is they had friends come over to their home, and they played beer pong, and then they separated the girls and the guys, and I really didn't see anything interesting to pull out of the interaction with the friends. I just felt like they did well. I mean, that they melded well. Like, I don't have much. I wrote that she is very competitive. I did write that. And that we found out that she's like impulsive. Like, she doesn't have any patience, where he carries all the patience and she's very impulsive, which those 2 things will match because one will cancel out the other. But that's really all I have on them. Like, somebody, did I miss something? Was there something that I should have talked about? Let me know down below in the comments. Like, I was kind of bored with this episode, but there were some things that I got excited about, but not really. Y'all let me know if I missed something down below in the comments. Okay, so you're so close in my face that the light seemed bright when I checked it. I definitely don't like this setup right now, but I hope you guys can forgive me and can just pay attention to what's happening in front of you. I feel like I'm in one of those like confessional booths, like on, I don't know if you guys remember the Bad Girls Club and they would go inside that booth. That's what this feels like with these curtains behind me and like no decor. Yeah, next week we'll find yet another space. Let's talk Micah. That might be their merging name. Let's talk Michael and Meka, M. Listen, she just really works my nerves. There's nothing that I can do to get out of that now that is stuck in my head. She works my last good nerve. Like, I'm literally sitting here like, like the homie right now. Like I'm outside, like on the stoop, like, yeah, yo, what's up? Y'all can't see that. You only can see the front part of me. But okay, I digress. So I made an observation, and I was like, she is all about just shooting him down at every possible point that she can. They are doing spice shopping. And you know, he's all like, so what are we gonna make? And she's all like, you just buy spices to buy spices. Yeah, okay, that might be true, but it's almost like she's like downing him, like, you know, looking her nose down at him because he's saying things that are not what she's used to, or what what she's used to, or what the way she does things. And then another thing, when he was like, well, we're in this spice shop that sells loose leaf teas, so we can't leave out of here without getting a tea. And she's like, I don't drink tea. I was like, bitch, listen, you be lucky if you have a man after this. Like, the way your attitude is on here is not conducive of a woman who wants to be in a happy, successful relationship. Sometimes she gives me glimpses of, oh, okay, girl, but then the majority of the time, it's almost like, why do you have to feel like you have to one up him, like you know more than he does? I mean, the majority of us do know more than men. I mean, listen, truth be told, but there's a way, you know, that we can finesse it and share that information. I mean, that's just coming from me. And if y'all don't agree with me, y'all know where y'all can do it at, down below in the comments. So they are preparing, you know, I guess a small housewarming for their friends and family to come over. Now listen, y'all in this apartment temporarily. Why y'all giving a housewarming? Unless they get to have these apartments after. Like, if they decide they want to stay there, that they can stay in those apartments, you know, at, you know, whatever the monthly lease rate is or whatever. I mean, because I wouldn't be having no housewarming. And I don't think that that's true, because what was their names last season moved into his house? Greg and... I always can remember one name and not the other. We thought they were doomed. Why can't I think of Greg's wife's name? But Greg had a nice house. We thought she was pregnant. Can't think of her name. Anyway, let's keep going. So she brings up the conversation about him not wearing a ring and saying, you know what, I don't understand why you're not wearing your ring. You know, she wants to get some clarity. And really, the reason she wants to bring it up is because her family and friends are coming over, and us not having the ring on our finger will let everybody know that there's trouble in paradise, and we'll have to explain that. So instead of her using this opportunity, or you addressing it sooner, like when Pastor Cal was there or when he was being vulnerable, she decides this is the time. I feel like it's because of it's more of a look, so that I'm not embarrassed. But she makes a valid point. If every time we have a tiff, you're going to take the ring off, that shows that you're not committed. No matter what, you're supposed to keep that ring on. So that was one of the things that I would agree with her on. You can't just say I'm out because things aren't working out the way that I would want them to. But it seems like all the men are taking their rings off at the first sign of trouble. I mean, is that just me? Am I tripping? I know I ain't the only one that's seeing that. But so like I said, that was a very valid point, and they decided that they would keep the ring on. Put their rings on and commit to keeping their rings on. And Michael said it has more meaning to it now that they have some type of history with one another, even though it's only been, what, like 13 or 14 days. Because they've been through a few things and they can understand one another a little better. So he feels like, yeah, you know, okay, this makes sense. All right, Mike. So when their So when their family and friends arrive, they seem to play some kind of game, like, you know, guess this about Meka, guess this about Michael, or whatever. It's cute. The families seem to gel really well. They seem to get along really well, at least from what we can see. You know, they only show us a snippet of it, and I guess it's the best parts of it. You see, because of the way they have to sit, so that I guess the cameras can catch them all. I don't know, child. I really wish it would be more organic, like we could see them in a more organic environment. But I guess how organic can you be with a camera in your face? I mean, unless you're just that comfortable. I don't know. Like, I always wondered, like, I'm comfortable talking to you, I'm comfortable doing my own vlogs, I'm comfortable like doing lookbooks and things like that, you know, like in this setting, would I be comfortable with producers following me around? I just wonder. How about you? Would you be comfortable? And where did that come from, and why am I asking? Yeah. Well, I do want to know what you think about Meka's mom. Mike takes Meka's mom to the bedroom, you know, just to ask for some advice about Meka and how to handle things. And she says, I'm going to give you the same advice I gave her, to be patient, to pick your battles, that every little thing doesn't require a fight. Well, listen, she knows her daughter better than anybody, and her daughter must really be a firecracker for that to be something that she said that she told Meka and would share with Michael as well. After the family visits and everything, Meka feels like they're closer than they've ever been before. They just seem really awkward. They still seem like they don't match. If you notice, people that are borderline geniuses or extremely smart normally are extremely awkward socially, and Michael is definitely that. So something's happening. He may not be on the spectrum, but he definitely does not know really how to interact with people. That's where I'm going with this. Yeah, I think that was it for them. Before we go on to the next couple, we did have a moment where the couples met up. The ladies met up to talk about how things were going for a picnic, and the fellas met for lunch, okay? What did I write? Anything of value? Did I write anything of value? Okay, one of the things is, like I had asked last episode, aren't there 2 bedrooms? Why isn't Zach there in the other bedroom? We also find out that Brandon is sleeping in the second bedroom. Though they hit the reset button, part of that was, you sleep in that room, I'm gonna sleep in this room. Let me see. Everybody is perplexed about Zach, okay? Everybody. Austin says, you know what? Zach talks in circles about himself and never really makes a point, so he zones him out. He's a narcissist. It's all about him, and it's in circles. Derek says he's perplexed. Like, okay, you're not moving in, then why are you doing this? What was the point of you doing this social experience? The point is that you get to know each other, so at least be in the same, underneath the same roof, so that you can get to know her, right? That's because I told you why. We'll get into it. Oh, and then I wrote down that I want Meka to stop giving advice, because she can't even get her own shit together. She shouldn't be worried about somebody else and what they should be doing. You know, Mindy, if he comes around, give him a second chance. It's what I learned. Girl, you don't even like Mike. The way you was interacting with him in the spice shop, honey, shows me that you really aren't that interested in him, and you wasting his and your time. Okay, y'all probably gonna say no at the end. I think that was pretty much the gist of what happened when they met up in the groups, you know, girls and guys. I don't think there was much more. I think a lot of them were excited about Meka making progress with Mike, and shit. Mindy said that Katie is weird. In one breath she says they have potential, and in the other breath she feels like she ain't even that into him. And then if you pay attention, when we get to Katie and Derek, she isn't that into him. She's probably a bit of a bitch. Like, if you look at her, she gives you that, like, snob vibe. She gives you that, like, snob vibe, I'm sitting high, you know, kind of vibe about her. Like, I don't think I like her either. Let's talk Brandon and Taylor. How about them? Taylor and Brandon? Whoever name you want to put first, put their name first. Well, when we first see them, we see Taylor, and she's with her friends Jasmine and Brittany. And she gives them a recap from the wedding day up until this point. She talks about how he ignored her, talked about how the blow up was, and you could see how the friends were taken aback by some of the things that she was saying to them about Brandon, how disrespectful he was, and that wasn't what they were expecting out of him. I do want to make a couple points. One thing is that she was saying, as she was talking to her friends about Brandon, I thought to myself, maybe maybe this dude is fucking bipolar. Maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe he has a chemical imbalance and probably needs to seek some help. Maybe he needs to go see if he has a chemical imbalance. You know, because it went from one extreme to another. It was a high and a low. Like, it was a trip. Like, maybe I'm tripping. I think a couple of you guys are therapists, so maybe you guys can maybe pinpoint it better than I can, because I don't have a degree in psychiatry or psychology, so this is all speculation, okay? Sometimes I'll be right, dead spot on, and sometimes not so much. And then I thought to myself, here's where the problem comes about sharing too much information with your friends. And that goes for Mindy too. Like, sometimes you jeopardize sharing with your friends because, of course, as your friend, I love you, I want to protect you, and now you're with this guy, you're telling me these bad things, and so now I'm holding this over his head. No matter how many good things after this comes, the fact of the matter is I'm going to remember when he treated you like shit, and now I have a bias I can't even get past. It has to be some grand gesture for me to even want to accept him. We have to be careful of the information that we share with our friends. You know what I'm saying? And I get that this is like a show and they have to share some stuff, but there are some things that you should have, just a circle between the two of you. But I'm kind of glad that she did share it so that we got some insight into Taylor. Taylor ain't as sweet as we think she is, okay? Taylor is something else. Taylor, what did her friend Jasmine say? Oh, I see that you have some real growth, that you're really willing to work this out and stuff. That means that Taylor might be a little sharp herself and quick to leave a relationship and probably be twisting her neck and pointing her fingers where we can't really see it. Her friends know better than we do, so we have to take what they say with some value. Well, it is Taylor's aunt's birthday, and they decide that they're going to have a housewarming. So they prepare the house. It's got balloons and food and stuff. You see a bunch of people. You see his aunt, his mom, looks like her boyfriend, and then you see Taylor's entourage. Her friends. You don't see her mother. Oh wait, yeah you do. Yeah you do, but at this particular time I'm thinking of maybe Taylor's mom had left, which is probably mom and aunt had left, so it's probably a good thing, because we really didn't want them to share their opinion. You know how they feel about this whole situation. They don't hold nothing back. When they arrive, a good quality that you see in Taylor as a wife is, I want to protect him. Y'all, don't drill him, don't grill him, don't be so hard on him. We set the reset button, and I want to give him a fair shot. Don't make it uncomfortable. At least she had the conversation with her friends. Her little dog, Tyler was the dog's name, little Lassie, is humping the shit out of Brandon all over the house. And what she said was, she read up on it, and it says he's trying to assert his dominance. And so in order to I'm the king of this castle. I mean, it's a boy dog, and I think that that's natural, but Brandon does need to go ahead and take some charge, push him off, or sit down, or no, or be firm with him. But instead he being a little bit like, get your dog. But maybe you know how pet parents are with their fur babies. Don't be manhandling my dog, because that's going to be a problem. So it's a fine line that you got to walk. And really, does that even matter? A little bit. When they ask him how things are going, he keeps saying things are great, things are going great. He says in his little confessional that he wasn't sure how much information Taylor had shared, but that they were supposed to set the reset button. But honestly, you're delusional by you keep saying we're great, and not really articulating how you feel, not only to her friends, but also to Taylor, which kind of means, are you being honest with yourself? Are you just pushing past this because that's what you want to do? I feel like her friends were very direct, borderline aggressive. Brittany, or what? Yeah, I think that was Brittany or Jasmine, whichever one it was. She started it off and said that she has some concerns now, and explained to him why. But the one that got me, honey, was the male friend. What's his name? Tashi. He seemed like he was ready to bop Brandon, okay? Like he definitely got aggressive. I think that if Brandon's aunt did not intercede, then it probably would have been a problem, because he was like, this ain't how you talk to him. You could talk to another girl like that, okay? Not this one. He was ready to get with him. So I really feel like when Brandon's aunt stepped in, she kind of saved him, okay? She kind of, it was a reprieve, like, oh, hold on, hold up. Let me explain to you why we've had an extensive conversation, and he understands that wasn't the right direction. I want you to know also that this isn't his normal behavior, and that he's going to work towards it, because the thing that he needs to do is to remove himself, to, you know, regroup, reevaluate, so that he can come back and address things appropriately. Now listen, I think I said this the first time when he was ignoring her. That's fine if you need to regroup, but you owe her that. You owe her, babe, give me just a few moments, because I'm not in a good space right now, and I need to just gather myself before we can continue and have this conversation. That's what adults do. At least that's how I feel. I mean, you have to respect somebody saying, just give me a few moments, and then we can discuss it. Anytime you keep pushing in pride, and you're just going to get the worst of them. I don't condone his behavior, but I'm just saying I can understand having to remove yourself from a situation, but you also need to say what? I need to remove myself from the situation so that we can talk about it in a healthy manner. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, y'all. What I realized that Brandon's mom is really kind of quiet. Really quiet. Really, you know, she would start to say something. Well, at least what they showed us, she was quiet. And then when they were cleaning up, you know, and she did keep prodding and want to talk more about what was happening and the emotions behind it, even after saying they hit the reset button. Now, I'm going to say, like I said before, once you say, I forgive you, or we're going to wipe the slate clean, or we're going to start over, you're supposed to start over. And at this point, I don't think Brandon knows what to say. He feels like the best thing to do is just to appease her, is just to agree with her, to pacify her, just so that he, you know, things could go smoothly. It's whatever you want to do. You know, nobody wants that. We want, as women, we do want men that are able to articulate themselves, to respectfully stand their ground and put us in a specific place. But listen to what I said, respectfully, like tell us to be quiet, or respectfully. There's always a way to do it, especially when you have a strong personality. You really, I need to hear your voice. I don't want it to always be me, but his out is, I don't want to keep fighting, and I don't want to keep hashing this up or rehashing this. So the best thing I can do for us is for me to say what? Whatever you want, babe. Whatever you want. Oh, I forgot to mention that she did defend him in the company of her friends. She did say, we set the reset button. I have seen some change in him, etc., etc., etc. But again, when they left, she brought it back up. So if that's how she really felt, she should have left it alone. But I think that she just really wants to hear what he has to say. Tell me what you have to say without it being rehearsed or sound like a facade. Let it be genuine. Let me hear that you're angry about something, or that you didn't like a certain thing, or certain stuff pushes your buttons, or this is how I think we can move forward. Give me your insight, what you think. Don't let it just be on me. I mean, do y'all feel that or no? Let me know what you think about this whole Brandon and Taylor situation. Do you think that they're going to make it the 8 weeks? Well, they're going to make it the 8 weeks, of course. Do you think they're going to go beyond the 8 weeks? Do you think they're going to say, let's stay together? I think they are not. I think they're going to go their separate ways. Anyway, we were wrong before, and we could be wrong again. Let's talk Katie and Derek, okay? Well, Katie goes to lunch with her mom. This is really when I start to see that Katie is a bit of a snob. Somewhat of a bitch. I don't know. I just felt like she was real dismissive to the things that her mother said. Her mother comes with life experiences. She said she had been married twice. So she had failed at one at least. She has probably loved and lost quite a few times. So what your mother has to say is should be valued, Katie, not dismissed. Anyway, I really felt like that whole, she's like, he's oversharing too much, about him going to the bathroom. I mean, I don't know how many of y'all have been in a relationship and that's what they say, I'm finna go shit, I got this load, my stomach is hurting. I mean, I've been there. When you are comfortable with somebody and you have that kind of relationship, that's what you say. I mean, and you let it be known so that it's not awkward that you've been in there for 15 minutes. You say, especially in this type of situation, they don't know each other. But I can see where, you might now start feeling like you the homie. But y'all don't have nothing else. You got to start somewhere. You should start cracking jokes with your shitty ass. I don't know, say something, because you're making, to me, too big of a deal out of him constantly saying, "Ooh, my stomach is hurt. It's about to be explosive." Like, that's a thing. I don't know, y'all. You let me know down below in the comments. Is that something that would bother you? I mean, I have a lot of women that watch. Is that something that would bother you if your spouse continuously said that he was telling you, announcing when he was going to the bathroom? And like I said, the reason I think they do that is because, number one, the bathroom is right next to the bedroom. And number two, it's new. It's a new relationship. And I don't want it to be awkward when I come out of here. I mean, they better get some poopery so that they get, so it won't smell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think that Katie's mom was right in saying that I don't want you to get your hopes up too high. I don't want your expectations to be so high that you get disappointed. It's one thing to set expectations. You hear everybody saying, well, I was going into this with no expectations. No, we all are going into something with expectations, whether that is hopefully to find a life partner, hopefully to find a good friend, learn something about yourself. You go into every situation with some sort of expectation, but the key is not to make them unrealistic expectations, not to set it so far off that it is unattainable. I hope that makes sense. I mean, we should be setting expectations and boundaries in relationships right off the top. Just not making it so unattainable, so unreachable, so unrealistic that nobody can reach them and you're never happy or satisfied. Like her mom said, you're always going to be looking for something better, and that's not realistic. Oh, you're being a pessimist, and I don't need that type of attitude around me. Girl, my mother would have said, is something wrong with you? That's why I can't talk to you. Like, I can't see my mother. Me and my mother have a tumultuous relationship anyway. But nevertheless, we see Derek talking to his dad. When I'm listening to him, I like the things that he says, but I'm also like, it sounds so rehearsed. Like he's been sitting up all night thinking about what he's going to say when the cameras are in front of him. So when Derek is at lunch with his dad, he talks about how the electricity is gone. The excitement is gone. I guess he got the cookies too soon. He put his hand in the cookie jar too soon. Is that why there's no more sparks flying? I think that this is part of what Derek's problem is. When there's no more electric sparks, no more butterflies, no more excitement, he walks away, not giving it a chance to develop into what we all who have been in love know is love. Because love really is an action word. It's really about being tolerant. It's really about being friends. It's really about being patient. It's really about growing together. It's really being about, did I say it already? Being able to tolerate someone longer than for a few hours. That's what love is. Like, people get on my nerves. And I like that his dad said to him, like, listen, that if I was Katie, that would scare me. You saying that you didn't know if you could fall in love in 7 to 8 weeks, or in 8 weeks, that it wouldn't be possible. I would be scared to know that there was no substance, that we've, kind of hit a plateau, like we done leveled out, and now it's about getting to know each other. If I heard someone saying that, I would be taken aback and scared. And I'm glad that his dad made mention of that, because he needs to understand everything doesn't need to be said. You might feel that way, but you might not say I love you in 8 weeks, but you could see yourself growing to love them, or seeing them as part of your life, or wanting to continue and get to know them. You know what I mean? Like, that's a thing. And then I thought his dad made a good point when he asked him, well, how does Katie feel? What does Katie need to know if this is working? And when he said he didn't know, then I thought, listen, then that's one of the things that you should start off with. Considering both of you always talk about how great your communication is, that is one thing you need to talk about. What is it that would let you know that you are on the road to being in a happy, healthy relationship, and that you could see yourself loving me? Katie had said one other thing. Like, she was like, I'm now starting to feel like I made the wrong decision with somebody who loves me, and somebody I don't know if he is going to love me. Girl, the only reason that man loved you, you know, the boy before Married at First Sight, is because you were now unavailable. He wanted to see if you were his puppet. He wanted to see if you were his puppet and he could continue to string you along, okay? You need to go ahead and keep singing that song. I'm not your puppet. Do, 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 do. Puppet. So, Derek and Katie invite their friends over to their little apartment. And, you know, they do that whole split off thing. I guess, you know, those are really only Katie's friends that are women, and those are Derek's friends that are fellas. And I just think to myself, the point is so that we can see how you gel with one another. At least that is for me. I know that the producers are looking for the juicy stuff and getting the tea. And because they are one of the youngest couples, well, shit, they're all young, right? Only a couple people are over 30. They want to know, you know, what's what. Katie got the nerve to say she feels like they're doing the best. I'm all like, did you forget about Jessica and Austin? Because they are superseding you as it relates to relational behavior and progression, okay? What y'all got going on is just hot sex on the platter. Hot sex on the platter. That's it. She's delusional. And so is Derek, because he kind of echoes her sentiments in the when she said he brought the fire. I thought, oh, these are such white girls. I did. I swear to God. I was like, they getting on my nerves, okay? They talk about the whole reaching the plateau thing and not knowing, you know, if they can, you know, all that shit again. But what I did write down that I feel of some importance is that Katie seems to be closed off. She's closed. She gives me the, I'm not really into this anymore because of what he said, because now she has a mental block. When their friends left, they did have a little conversation, you know, in the bed, and he was just like, I don't see any of these red flags from my old relationships with you, and it made her happy. And I'm all like, you people. Lord have mercy. You people. Yes, that's what I said. You people. Let's talk about our last couple, Mindy and Zach. Well, they meet at the dog park. I guess he only has one dog, but there was 2 dogs. So the other dog is somebody else's, because he does only have one dog, and it's a male dog, right? Watching them for me feels awkward and uncomfortable. But I'm glad that Mindy is starting to really like say what's what, sort of, kind of, maybe just a little bit. She keeps talking about, I'm trying not to have expectations. I want us as ladies to stop saying that. I just said it a minute ago. We all have some sort of expectation. Mindy, you went into this thinking you would find your lifelong partner. You went in this with the expectation that the experts would match you with someone who was meant for you and was good for you. That was the expectation. Let's not mince words. And I know you like, we're going on his baby steps. Child, fuck him and his baby steps, okay? I was glad that she asked him for an apology since he wasn't there. That he didn't come into the apartment and stay to the apartment, and that he wasn't really committed, and she thought she deserved an apology. And you know what Zach did was like, oh look, I got my ring on, and she was like, oh, and I got it cleaned. I thought, if that ain't a bunch of malarkey, you got it clean. You just got it 14 days ago. How often you need to clean it? What you been doing with that ring? Where was that ring at that it required cleaning? You had it sitting up somewhere collecting dust? Oh, baby, let me tell you, these people is getting on my nerves. When he said something about, you know, something, we're friends, I'm glad she put her foot down and said, we're not friends. We're married. Like, there's a difference. And yeah, I know I don't know you, but even in arranged marriages, we are married. I might have just seen you for the first time today, but we are married. I am more than just your friend. Well, you got to agree that we got to start off as friends, and that's a great foundation. Just say that you don't like her kind, please. I really feel like she's finally starting to, at this particular point, I felt like she was getting fed up with his foolery. But I'm wrong, because she's still hanging in there by a thread, honey. So they meet at the local bar. Her friends and his friends meet at the local bar because, you know, her family ain't coming. They don't agree with the process. But now you see why, because they have a dickwad for her as a husband. Like, if they had somebody that was genuine and stuff, it might have been easier to get your family to agree with it. But now you just making it what it is, a mockery of marriage. But I wanted to point out, did you see his friend in the pink over there? His friend in the pink. Yeah, the one in the back. He's also fluid or all the way gay. Okay. Will Smith had said, I saw a quote that said something like, take a look at your 5 closest friends and you can see yourself in each of them. And if you don't like what you see, then that means to get you a new set of friends. Well, look at his friends. I'm going to leave that right there. Look at his friends. You know, Mallory, her friend Mallory, I love her. I really do. She is playing no games with Zach. Like, what is your plan? Do you like the place that you ain't in? Have you even been there to visit? Like, I like that Mallory is giving it to him at this particular point. And even still, use the second bedroom. You do know it's 2 bedrooms in the house. Use the second bedroom. That way you can get to know her. That way you can vibe in the same space. I can't wait for it to come out that he just don't like women. I just can't wait for it to come out. Like, you know, because I don't know what else it could be. I don't know what else it could be. Because even a man that's not attracted to you will find something attractive about you and hang in there at least till they can get the pussy. Okay? I hate to be so blunt, but it's the truth. Okay, I'm sorry, fellas with morals and ethics and values. But before you had those morals, ethics, and values, you were that guy. Okay, you were that guy. So they're sitting in there having conversations in her apartment. Same day, later that day. And they pretty much tell her you need to be cautious and that I don't trust him. He's not to be trusted. And it's important that you start to see actions. I know that you're committed, but you need to start seeing actions. Like, if your friends can't pull your coattail and tell you the truth about your delusion, then they ain't your friends. These are her friends. They want the best for her, and they see that he is a total asswipe. And really want the best for her. And she springs on them, well, I invited him over. And I'm all like, well, it's really his apartment too. But I know you said that you probably invited him because I'm having friends over. You want to come hang out? And she's so happy that he shows up. Like, I had hope for you there a second, Mindy. You're looking real foolish to me right now. I'm confused again. I thought you had gotten the backbone. I thought you was about to stand your ground. Like, and then they all like box wine. Y'all know they say what box wine is like trailer park trash. Trailer park trash wine. You know, bottom of the rung wine. You get fucked up with some box wine, okay? I mean, I didn't have some box wine in my life. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but that's what they say. Who is they? I don't know. Look it up on the internet. That's who they is. Her friends are just really unwavering and are really ready to go in on him about his intention and why aren't you here and what is your plan. And Mindy, I mean, one of the greatest qualities of a wife is, what do? We're like the lioness. We protect our family, including the lion. Listen, you guys, I just wanted him to come over and have wine. Let's not attack him. And honey, the friend sits up and said, well, I'm just trying to clear up a few things. Just let me know this one thing. Like, I was like, come through, friend, because she ain't gonna do it. And if she don't do it, she ain't gonna do it, so you gotta do it for her. Okay? Well, that ends this episode. That's all the couples. Yeah. Listen. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode down below in the comments. Let's have a conversation there. I wasn't really moved by it. This is probably why it takes me so long. Sometimes I look at these and be like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you guys all this fucking stupid? Like, what? Where do they find these people? Why can't they have some real people? Like, that's how I be feeling sometimes when I'm watching. Listen, I do want to say thank you for watching and sticking in. That I love you because you missed me, because where are you? I thought you gave it up. I'm so glad to see you back. That warmed my soul to no end. And for those of you who are not Ray of Sunshines already, go ahead and click the red subscribe button. Click the notification bell. Listen, for those of you who keep saying, I kept coming back to your page trying to see if you were there. If you had that notification bell clicked, you wouldn't have to. It would show you like, boop, she uploaded a video. So go ahead and click the bell right now. Lastly, because you like me and I'll know that it's real, give this video a thumbs up. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next video.